talking about, and the basis of our question is the HTML5 side of things and WebWorks. And this is one where we've seen a lot of investment and a lot of interest in the who's going to win. Is it going to be native? Is it going to be HTML5? You know, punch at lunch by the swing sets. You know, this big battle of where is it all going to go. And we've been seeing a lot of really great interest on HTML5. And it's a great place to be able to take your code cross-platform. Try to minimize the amount of effort and staffing that you need to have in multiple different languages, multiple different tool chains, all these different sorts of things to be able to go across the different devices out there. Standardization on most platforms to WebKit is helping this, and projects such as PhoneGap is helping get that divide to be able to go across all these different platforms as well. So our goal with HTML5, one of them is we want to have the best experience for HTML5 and the best engine out there for being able to do HTML5 on mobile devices. And with this, we understand that there's limits of what HTML5 does so far, and this is where things like WebWorks come in, be able to extend beyond what the standards allow you to do. So as a web developer, you're not disadvantaged of choosing the web over a native developer. You have full access down into the native level by doing a packaging in something like a WebWorks or a PhoneGap onto the platform. And this is something that we've wanted to be able to, oh, look at that. Oh, never mind, looking at a different thing. The other thing that we're doing here is making sure that this support runs across our existing smartphones and into the latest devices that we're working on. And along these lines of performance and providing the best platform, we've got a kick-ass browser. Not just a normal, it's a kick-ass browser that we've got on our devices. And this is something that we've been trying to do some technical myth busting as well, because the BlackBerry browser in the past had been something that had gained a lot of different type of press. BlackBerry's browsers aren't good, they need to be able to make things better. Our Playbook 2.0 browser that just launched is second only to Chrome Desktop from an HTML5 standard support. There's nothing else out there that is better than it. This is something that surprises a lot of different people, but it is in fact quite true. We're the only mobile platform that is actually enabling WebGL. So you can do full OpenGL programming from JavaScript inside of your web applications. We've got full hardware acceleration back canvas. So in Playbook 1.0, we're getting around 14 frames per second. With 2.0, we're getting 40 frames per second on our canvas tests that are coming out there, with full hardware acceleration behind CSS animations as well. So we're getting fantastic performance that is dispelling a lot of this, well, could you actually use web technology to create a UI that looks and feels and is responsive and as fluid as what you'd find inside of native? So it is becoming more and more an option, and we want to be on the forefront of making that an option. Another thing that we wanted to point out is that this isn't just a Playbook thing. Our BlackBerry 7 and BlackBerry 6 are some of the top phones in market that support HTML5 for our web developers that are out there. We've been making a very conscious effort to be able to make it as great as possible. Another aspect that we've been trying to hit from, I get to compete to some music. The other aspect that we've been trying to make sure that we address our web developers is that there's very much a difference between what a native developer is looking for from a tool chain and a web developer. So web developers are much different when it comes to mobile development, and compiling simulators, launching in the simulator, debugging, attaching, all these things. I mean, I always use the example, makes a web developer want to grab a fork and jam it straight and dry, because this is just not the way that they do their development. We're working with people that are doing VI, TextMate, these different sorts of things, and then hitting refresh inside of the browser and really using the browser as an actual IDE for what they're working on there. Actually, that experience of doing that kind of development on mobile devices is what actually led to building what we call our Ripple emulator, which allows you as a web developer to work the same way that you would inside of your browser, make your text edits, hit refresh, and emulate all these different sorts of things without having to use the simulator for the majority of your development, and then go to a simulator or a real device at the end of the day here. And we didn't want to even stop there. We've actually enabled Remote Web Inspector on our BlackBerry 7 and our Playbook devices and with BlackBerry 10. So you can open up Safari or Chrome right on your desktop, connect remotely to the simulator or a real device, and debug your application content right from your desktop the same way that you'd be debugging a web page. And all of that is built into the platform. There we go. One last point on the web side of stuff is that everything that we do for our web platform is entirely open source. So from our WebKit contributions and our upstreaming of that code, all going back up into GitHub. All of WebWorks itself, an entire open source project. Same with our Ripple tooling. We wanted to be able to make sure that we were working and coding in the open, being able to that you see what we're working on, being able to contribute back on your feedback, logging bugs, working with us to be able to drive it to where we want to be able to bring it to the community. But then we also wanted to be able to show you how we do our extensions down into native. Because what we do for our web platform is take the feedback from our community on the most popular and the most asked for APIs. We package them, we bring them in from release to release into our SDKs and provide them out to the community. But there's always that one API that somebody needs that isn't quite tackled yet with the set of JavaScript APIs that we provided, and you're able to actually build that extension yourself. So you can go down and extend any kind of functionality that's available at the native level and bring it back up into your application. And we've had a lot of different community members doing that and actually contributing those APIs back to the platform so others can share and use those. Other things that we've been doing is doing a lot of contribution back into PhoneGap or AKA Cordova, being able to contribute and make sure that we're doing what we can do and help there from the experiences that we've had, as well as putting a lot of contributions back into jQuery Mobile and making sure that these different types of toolkits are optimized for mobile and work